looked around, didn't recognize him from, his pictures. He comes up and he's like, Maria. I pulled out my phone. I went to his profile. The pictures on his profile was him like from 20 years ago and like 50 pounds ago. And I literally like got up and left.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of I Hate Dating Apps. I'm Gina.
And I'm Daniel. And today we're here to talk about the problem with profiles. You want to introduce our guest?
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we have to dive right into the guest because I want the guests to help me talk about my pet peeves about dating profiles. We have Maria and Evan. And if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves real quick.
Hi guys, I'm Maria and I hate dating apps.
You're a single mom, right, Maria?
I'm a single mom and I'm a mom of two boys. So here I am, still single.
Still on Hinge.
And we got Evan.
And I'm Evan. I'm actually married, but I did have a time not long ago that I was on the apps and I did have some experiences and stories to share. So
I want to go through my pet peeves because this is a very heated topic for me. Profiles. Oh my God, I could talk about them all day. I freaking hate these things and you guys can chime in whenever you want. Number one pet peeve. What is up with most or all of your photos being with sunglasses?
Oh,
like really?
So annoying. Ugh, why?
Why? Okay, Maria totally gets me. This might not be a man thing.
Yeah, men and women probably have different experiences depending on, what you're looking for. You have different experiences. But Gina, definitely we know what her pet peeves are.
Well, I have more. I'm not done. Okay. And feel free to jump in, guys, because this list is pretty lengthy. But Maria, I know you've seen this gym photos. Why does every man on the planet have a photo of themselves in the gym?
I don't get it. That doesn't do anything for me. Even if you have like a great, amazing body, like you're just like, I don't know. It doesn't, I don't like them.
Well, but Maria, like half of your profiles that you get, right? Gym photos?
More than half.
More than half, 100%. Also, bathrooms.
Bathroom selfies.
Come on, that's not just dating profiles, though. I mean, I've seen a lot of IG photos taken in the bathroom, and I think that's a pet peeve for everybody, not just on profiles.
Do women take photos in bathrooms?
Have you been on IG? Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Back me up on this, Evan.
super common just going to restaurants when people tag themselves going out in the bathroom, it's always in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
There's a certain niche of, I guess, 20-year-olds, possibly 30-year-olds nowadays where like traveling is a personality trait. Like they just have all their photos of like all over the world. It's like a flex where it's like, okay, like, yes, duh. Everyone loves traveling generally. Everyone has wanted to have life experiences. But like, if you and I were to get into a relationship, for the vast majority of people, traveling is not normal life every day. This isn't who you are. This is who you're trying to portray. And it's like, again, a humble brag almost. But,
right.
I don't know.
But hey, so Maria, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Well, one of them on to what Gina was saying with the sunglasses, for me, it's like the not smiling. Like smile big, smile, like show your teeth, be happy. I'm looking for a happy man. And you can convey that to me in your pictures and your smiles. But most of the men, I probably would like to say 85% of the men on these dating apps don't smile. They're so serious. And I don't understand. If you're not smiling, if I can't see your teeth, one, I want to see that you have a full set of teeth, good, perfectly pearly white teeth, two. But I wanted to see that you're happy. And if you're not smiling, sorry, that's a no for me. So swipe left.
Maybe they have really bad teeth.
Then you don't want to date them. Therefore, you're swiping left.
But you still want to put your best, foot forward. So I'd say if you have bad teeth, then don't smile.
Then don't smile. Yeah.
But there might be another reason why people don't smile, right? There are a lot of tips out there, and they do tell men to not smile because you look more serious, right, Evan?
Nope.
Yeah, I've definitely read that in my experience when I was devoting minimal effort, but seeing like what are best practices back when I did them.
That is such false information.
No, don't believe everything you read. Oh, guys have beautiful smiles. Like, why would you not want to share that?
Oh, I smile in all of my photos.
I would use teeth photos.
Yeah. No, men, let me just put this to rest right here. Do not believe the crap that you read that tell you to not smile and to look away, like Evan said. We are swiping left on those things. I mean, unless you want to attract non-normal women who find sinister looking men super attractive. Like, if that's who you're looking for, go ahead. Don't smile and give us all the sunglasses you want. But if you want to attract normal people, I'm telling you, these are real pet peeves.
I have one for you. When you see a profile and their first main picture is them and like 5 of their buddies.
Ah, I know. I've literally had profiles where every photo is them in a group setting. And I'm like, which one are you? And then, or it's all in a group setting. And then the only photo that they do include of themselves has fucking sunglasses.
Those damn sunglasses.
God damn. And you know, the about me, not writing anything in the about me. What do you guys think that's about?
That's just lazy.
I agree.
Or a lot of times people get signed up by their friends or their family. So they never even created the profile. It's just someone else sort of gaming the system for them, trying to get setting up their friend with something like, oh, Susie never goes out. So like, let me create a profile for her, but I won't fill it out. So I'm not like really crossing friend boundaries, but I want to do the right thing.
What? Wait, and so they're getting matches on their phone on behalf of their friends?
I mean, yeah, you basically, I've heard of this where people create profiles for their friends or roommates or anything, because it's like that person won't step outside of their comfort zone. So like, let me try for them. If I can create a dummy profile with barely no effort and show them that they got matches, maybe they'll actually get excited about doing it themselves.
Okay. Maria, is this a dude thing? Do you know any women who would do this?
No, I don't.
Tons and tons of female profiles have no information because again, they get all the swipes anyway. So they don't need to try. Right. So it's simply just an attraction thing, right? That's how you start conversations in real life. You see someone, you're attracted, you move forward. So they're looking at it as like, well, if you saw me across a room or a bar or in public in a park or something, like there's no billboard on my shirt that says anything, right? You just see me. So you should want to start something with this, whatever, you know, that psychology is. I don't know. I don't like it, but I see it a lot when I used to use the apps. Yeah,
but Evan and Daniel, you guys wouldn't not swipe on a woman if she was super hot and she had nothing written, right? Because men are, I mean, I'm generalizing here, but men are visual oriented. Men don't care about what's written. They probably...
Well, we're using some sweeping generalizations here.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, that's a sweeping generalization. I apologize.
I never did that. When I saw the no information, I was like, well, if you don't care to try about this and I'm looking for something that's not just a hookup, I was always open-minded to something developing to something serious. So it's like, if you don't give a shit, like I'm not going to even start with you because that was my mindset.
Please give us the men's perspective on this, Evan.
Okay. I don't know if this is still a thing, but a lot of women said they were sapiosexual in their descriptions, which if you have never heard this word, it's because people don't ever use this word in real life. It means that they're attracted to intelligence. And like, no shit. Like, no one goes out dating saying, I want some dumbass. So the fact that it was really trendy for a while to say everyone was sapiosexual, I was not a fan because it just makes you sound pretentious.
Evan, right. I hate to say it.
It does sound very pretentious. It's a definition of pretentious. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but it's still a thing.
Oh my God, really?
A third of the profiles that I get matched
says
with
what?
now, sapiosexual.
Sapiosexual.
Yeah,
I can't even say it. I guess I'm not very sapio. I can't even say it.
Well, I mean, like even, and I presume that it was more popular with men because they're basically saying to a woman, I'm not just attracted to your boobs. I'm attracted to your intelligence, or I get off on intelligence or whatever, but I did not know that it was a female to male thing as well.
There is some research around this, and they've shown that when dating apps first started online or online dating started, you know, the Match.coms of the world, the eHarmonies, they actually had those forms for compatibility. Then we realized how idiotic it is, right? It's like, I love dogs. You love dogs. We have something in common. Let's go on a date, right? And then what the apps figured out is that instead of listening to what they wanted, they started checking people's behavior online. And the truth of the matter is, we think we know what we want, but sometimes we don't know what we want, right? And so there's research to prove this, that if you put a more complex profile on a dating app, you're less successful in terms of matches. Matching is not the same as dating. Dating is not the same as falling in love, and falling in love is not the same as love. Like there's a whole progression of things. You know, if you want matches, the best way to get matches is to be as generic as possible. There was this interview I heard with a guy. He said, I had this complex and like I wasn't getting much luck. I'm a, average looking, good looking white guy and I can't get, but as soon as I had generic, like I had a picture with a dog, with my mom, I was blowing a bubble and I said something like, I love getting lost and listening, which is like total bullshit, right?
Oh, let me barf.
Right. But
No.
you barf, but he got so many more matches that way. So the algorithm is working against people like you and in favor of people like that.
And I mean, all these apps boils down to it's sales and it's marketing.
Thank you, Evan.
It's just a matter of, are you going to put forth the time and energy? And is that your strategy? Or are you just going to be a real person? It's like, okay, here's some
Well,
information.
it's like, this is a business. Dating is a business.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's people that do it that way. You see people, they treat it like sales, right? You have to fill the funnel. So people just swipe.
Yes.
And certain people do that, but other people are like, that's disgusting. I could never, right? So it's really about what approach is right for you or what you think you can handle based off of your priorities. I know, especially for women, right? You're more concerned maybe about like, I have a timeline because of social standards, or I want children, or all these things, versus guys are a little bit more like, definitely phone in most things.
The other thing that leads to, right, to also because people are trying to game the system, it's a dating version of relying on your resume, right? And so this happens all the time where people kind of misrepresent themselves. Do you guys have any stories along those lines?
Pictures, obviously, that's the big one. Everyone misrepresents themselves with all the filters and all the old pictures. I have a story. I once, early on when I was on the dating apps and I was newly single, before I like learned you had to vet them before. I out at a bar and he texted me. He's like, I'm here. I'm like, where are you? I'm here too. I don't see you. Looked around, didn't recognize him from, his pictures. He comes up and he's like, Maria. And I look up at him and I was like, I pulled out my phone. I went to his profile. I looked at him again. I looked at his profile. The pictures on his profile was him like from 20 years ago and like 50 pounds ago. Yeah. And I literally like got up and left. I walked out and he was like, excuse me, like Maria. And I'm like, I didn't even turn back. I'm like, no, this is like false advertising and I'm not.
False advertising.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like, what else are they going to hide if you were to get together? Finances, family, anything. Like, it snowballs.
I don't understand because this obviously happens a lot. What is the person thinking when they are putting up?
No, I'll tell you exactly what he's thinking. And maybe I'm going to give myself away as some psychotic, person. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if I'm that guy and Maria, I want to like go on a date with you, right? I'm looking at your profile and I'm thinking there's just no way this version of myself is going to get her to match with me. So the first goal is to get the match. The first goal is to get, if I want to have at least a shot at you, I have to be in front of you face to face. So I am going to lie on my profile, hoping that, once I meet you, my charm is just going to like, just overwhelm you, that you overlook the fact that this was 15 and 50 pounds ago. I think that's a calculus that goes in because, Gina, I don't think you lie on your profile, but my wife, who I met on Match.com, she lied about her age. And this is a fact, a lot of women lie about their age on dating app profiles.
It probably is a
lot of
thing.
men lie about their height and their jobs.
I'll tell you why, but I'll tell you, I lie on my profile. Whereas I'm 43, but on my profile I put 37. And the only reason I tell you, once we start talking and we match, I tell you, by the way, I'm 43, not 37. The only reason why I do it is because of the algorithm. I don't want to get matched and seen with 60-year-olds. I want more age appropriate men, so I want younger men to see me, younger, but I mean like 40s, 50s, but not 60s, 70s.
But isn't that just a matter of degrees, a slippery slope, right? It's like, I lied, but here's the reason why I lied. It's because if I don't lie, I get matched up with these dudes, really old dudes that I don't want to go out with, right? And the dude that you went out with, who is 15 years older and 50 pounds heavier than he represented himself. For him, it's not that different than you lying about your age, because when he puts his real photo and his real age, he doesn't get women like you to respond to him, right? So what's the difference?
I mean, I understand what Maria's saying. It's a little bit apples to oranges, but I can also see how a man would say, okay, so you lying about your age isn't the same as me putting photos from 20 years ago,
Well, it
like
is apples and oranges,
lying.
but it's
well,
look, it's all apples and oranges, but it's all fruit.
I mean, I think this example is pretty white lie territory overall. You know, as someone who's 38 myself, if someone was 43 instead of 37, like I honestly wouldn't care. Of course, it's a red flag, right?
And Evan, that's been the reaction when I tell oh, that's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, it's a red flag in the sense of like, okay, you started on a lie, so
Yeah.
now I have to be like one more or two more degrees more like reluctant as we move forward, if we move forward, to see like what's your deal and how do you actually operate. But on the surface, in the immediate moment, especially if someone's not really seriously dating, then it's like, oh, whatever, we're gonna go to bed. Like that's irrelevant, you know, like.
We obviously can talk about this for hours and hours, but Maria actually has to go because she has a date, right, Maria?
I do, a hinge date.
There you go.
Who you lied to?
Good one, Evan.
He's gonna get up and walk away immediately too. Guess what?
Oh no, I don't think Maria dates the kind of guys that get Maria as a
it's
date.
an unfair
they
world.
do not leave.
You know, it's an unfair world. Women can lie all the time and get away with it. Good luck, Maria. Thank you so much for your time.
I need to come back and tell you all about my date.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
We're going to have Maria again on a future episode, but thank you so much.
We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Our sponsor, Take My Face Off, makes swiping off your makeup just as easy as swiping past a bad profile. Seriously, the MIDI from Take My Face Off is this adorable facial mitt that makes skin cleansing faster, easier, and more thorough than any other method I've tried. I seriously love this product. Next time you're tempted to grab a face wipe, use a MIDI instead. It's just as fast, but it's better for your skin and the planet. Get free shipping with the discount code DATING at takemyfaceoff.com. I know you're busy going on dates, but who's looking out for your family's legacy? Seriously, someone needs to tell your future kids what it was like for grandma or grandpa growing up on the farm, or how hard it was for them to walk to school uphill, both ways, in the rain and the snow. Tell Me Your Tale is a video production company based in Los Angeles that does nothing but create family legacy videos. They'll interview your loved one, either virtually or in person if you're local to Los Angeles, then edit the footage into a gorgeous professional video. Chapter by chapter, you'll preserve your loved one's life story as told by them, in their voice, with their smiles. Give yourself, your elders, and your children the gift of a lifetime by preserving precious family memories. Go to tellmeyourtale.com.
Please don't post photos of you from 20 years ago, 50 pounds ago. Yeah, you get the match, but then where do you think it's going to go after that? Like the girl's either going to walk out on you, or I did have a situation one time where I matched with a really hot guy, and he had one of those photos where it was like over the shoulder glamour shots, and I was like, oh, super hot. And then I go out and he has his pants hiked up to his man boobs, no lie. And like the pants are like, they show his socks like a foot, maybe half a foot. I'm exaggerating. And he's got sneakers on. So he has total dad bod, and he's got dad clothes.
This is not normal dad. This is granddad.
It was like granddad territory.
He did not have a dad bod. He had a granddad bod.
Yeah. It was granddad bod, and
It's a losing strategy for sure.
minus the walkers. And then because I'm a nice person, I just sat there for like 30 minutes and talked to him and went, oh, well, I guess I better go. And I recall that I even paid for my share of the meal because I didn't want him to think, oh, she gave me 30 minutes of her time and I paid for the meal, you know? So
I guess that's a strategy, right? So you're saying, man, don't do that. Man, don't lie about, you know, how old you are or how heavy you are, or like, you know, putting pictures of 10, 15 years ago. But I would argue with you that for this guy, it worked. You went, and because you're a nice woman, and every now and then he will run into women like Maria, who just like get up and leave and say, bye, see ya later.
Bye,
you
boy.
liar,
Yeah.
right? And then you run into somebody like you who's nice, and you sit there with me. Look, he got to enjoy your company for a little while, and he got a shot at you. That's all he was asking for.
I know, but after 25 failures where you show up to a date, you're most likely paying for the first meal. When does he learn his lesson? You know what I
Never.
mean?
Because you know what? Because we are stupid. Men are stupid. Human beings are stupid. We don't learn our lesson. Hope burns eternal, especially if you're trying to find love. Why do you think dating apps are so, addictive? And so, because we're always like, there might be that one chance.
I know, but it leads to me saying, I hate dating apps.
Yes.
This is a good segue into something that I wanted to bring up because I was very shocked at this BuzzFeed article. So in doing research for this profiles episode, I came across this BuzzFeed article, 31 dating profiles so horribly cringeworthy, I can't believe someone actually posted them. This is from 2023, okay? And
Listen, yep.
Look at this one, okay? The first one that they have on there, first of 31, which are all equally bad. The first one says, fuck Tinder, all you motherfucker match with people. And when you match with me, you say nothing like we never match, such bullshit. Like all I want is to hang out and have a relationship or something. And I get nothing. WTF did I do to get that bullshit? And you girls match with the most biggest jackass that treat you girls like fucking shit. And you give them the world while the good guys get fucking kicked to the curb. Such bull fucking shit. That was written on some dude's about me section.
Oh, okay.
Like,
makes perfect sense.
And then the
it's not going to work, but it makes perfect sense to me that he would say that.
Because you're that jaded?
No, not because I'm jaded. Because it makes, like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying like this guy, the guy who wrote that profile, and we're all cringing at him, and it's true. Like that's not the right way to get people to swipe right on you, for sure. But I think what that tells you is the frustration that, like, we're here talking about. It might have been the guy. It might be the guy that Maria walked off on who put that up. The truth of the matter is that we say, be authentic, be polite, be this, and people are like, okay, all right, I'll be polite, I'll be authentic, I'll be honest, I'll be candid. And then he gets frustrated, and then he goes, I am doing everything that you told me to do, and I'm still not getting lucky.
I'm sorry. Yeah. If you can't read between the lines and you can't finesse the 3 fucking sentences in your about me to sound not negative, to sound somewhat appealing, to sound somewhat educated,
yeah.
to sound somewhat attractive to the opposite sex, I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't be getting dates.
You shouldn't be getting dates. You should go into a cave under a rock and just die.
Or
that's what we're saying.
Just set your bar to somebody who might have that as an appeal point,
There's no success rate on that profile.
Correct.
That guy is clearly frustrated. He's in a bad place. He, maybe needs a little therapy to even post that out. But on some version of his brain, he thinks that by dumping all of that information into that profile, some other female or whatever their gender that they're seeking will agree with his frustrations or have been through his frustrations and will be like, oh, this person's not full of shit. I completely relate to all that angst. But
true, could be. Yeah.
That's some borderline serial killer stuff.
Yeah.
But I the fact that this guy is on BuzzFeed though as one of the 31 most cringiest profiles.
Look at the source, right? Yeah. BuzzFeed is mostly clickbait and really like extremes of news.
I know, but what I'm saying is, so what this article illustrates, because almost all of the 31 cringeworthy profiles that they highlight, the thing that they have in common is extreme negativity. And as a woman currently on dating apps, I have to say that I also encounter quite a bit of this. And this is another huge pet peeve of mine, is how negative people get. I mean, like, I've literally gotten profiles where they were like, if you've been vaxxed, swipe left. If you're a single mom, swipe left. If you have children you want me to raise, swipe left. And it's like, okay, are you doing this to just use this as a platform to spew?
Yeah.
Or are you doing this to truly get dates? Because men, let me just clear the air right here. Women do not like negativity. And I would submit to you that my friends who are guys who are also on dating apps, they also hate the negativity. Women give it too, like if you don't make a 6-figure income, if you don't have your own house, swipe left, whatever. I know we get it both ways, but the negativity just doesn't work.
And I mean, you're sensitive to the kid issue because you're
Yes,
a
right.
mother, but like for people like me, I absolutely put that in there, just like the cats. Like it's a total deal breaker. I'm allergic. I'm not going in your apartment. If you have children, that's a whole set of circumstances and baggage that I want nothing to do with. It's not negativity. It's don't waste each other's time.
Right.
This isn't a filterable automatic thing. So I have to put it in here to just be clear that
And
like,
that's a totally perfectly good deal breaker, right? Like for me, smoking and drug use is a massive deal breaker. But you know, you don't have to put it like that. Like on the
all
profile,
drugs or heroin only?
oh, shut up. All I can say is there are a million different ways to approach how you write or express something. And if you were to say, you know, interested primarily or prefer women without children or something, that's a little bit softer than if you have kids and you're a single baby mama, swipe left. You know, just land it a little gently if you want. Because even the single women with no children and you're not a single mom, they're also going to be turned off by that because they're like, this guy's fucking negative.
Right.
so pro tip to the listeners, you know, put like please in your profile. Please no women with children.
Please
be
swipe
polite.
left.
Be polite. Yeah. Be kind.
Like when you leave people angry post-its around work or home or something that's like, don't touch this or whatever. It's like, you just say, please don't touch this. It's always softer.
It does. It does make a difference. I mean, certain women.
All right. So
might
if you're gonna be
swipe right.
if you're gonna be negative on your dating profiles, be polite. Thank you.
Be polite about
Thank
it.
you. Yes.
Yeah, that might be the point. Okay, Evan. Evan, you've got an amazing story about your profile.
Yeah. So again, I only use Tinder, and I was living in New York City. I met my now wife in real life. We did a long distance relationship. She lived in California. I was in New York. And so we dated, I guess, a year and a half long distance before ultimately I moved out to California. While we were doing long distance, I deleted the app. We were exclusive. I wasn't, you know, doing other promiscuous type behaviors. So it had been maybe, I don't know, at least a year and a half, probably 2 years since I had used Tinder or had it on my phone. And so I was living in Los Angeles and I was going through a job interview process. I met this woman and, you know, it was a professional meeting, etc. And then some version of a few weeks go by and she texts me and with a screenshot that's like, oh, you showed up on my Tinder today. And I was kind of like very confused. I thought it was funny and also strange because this was like in the daytime. So I was like, why are you swiping at like 10 in the morning, first of all?
That's the most convenient time, by the way, to swipe.
My absolute knee-jerk reaction when I saw this text, I was like, I think the kids call that thirsty. Anyway, I just played nice and I was like, wait, what? Because she was, you know, it's my face and my name. So I can't be like, that's bullshit. But I was under the impression that I was not active. I didn't go through the many steps, usually of several screens, to deactivate my account, but I hadn't been using it for quite some time. And so this was a situation where someone I don't really know found me and could have misinterpreted things. You know, I told my girlfriend at the time and I was like, hey, this is funny. And we sort of laughed it off and didn't really think about it. And it was a non-starter, drama-free situation for us. But I've seen this in other situations or other people posting on the internet where it's like, hey, like, my girlfriend's coworker saw me on Tinder and this kind of thing where people that you know or friends of friends or other colleagues or worse, because again, it's all you know, at your grocery store or in your office or any of these things on the subway in some cities, right? So then it can be much more of a volatile situation where it's like, no, babe, like I haven't been on there in forever. And it's like, bullshit.
You're a
Get in trouble.
cheater.
So the problem with dating profiles is that sometimes they linger on a little too long, or even if you're not you're not participating actively in the dating apps, still keeps your profile.
Right. Because I moved
Yes.
across the country. So if the original user data was based in New York City and now I'm in Los Angeles, how does it even know that I'm in Los Angeles to populate me in Los Angeles?
Right.
Ah.
Right. So I think what's happening is you probably, when you were on Tinder, a lot of women swiped you right. The algorithm goes, oh, with Evan in our database, we're more successful because more women come in trying to find more guys like Evan. So more guys like Evan we have in our system, the better for engagement. So even though this guy hasn't been active, swiping left or right on our app. Technically, he hasn't deactivated his account, so he's still on. So it is in the interest of Tinder to keep him on their database. So if the guy...
Because the more fish in the pond.
Correct. Right. And so
more
then it
attractive
leads to
your app
situations
is.
like this. Right. And leads... But not only
Yeah.
that, like they don't have to delete the guy who's not very successful, right? It's they can just keep it as is. What I'm saying is that they have no incentive to clean their database, especially because there is something to be said about the number of users, right? Because they want that, because that is what their shareholders will look at. You know, Tinder can say we had 5 million, users.
sure.
Now we have 6 million users. If a user has not deactivated, why not? It's a business again. That's my contention all the time, is that none of this is done for evil intent. It's just the way it's designed. And I think the more people understand what's at hand and what's happening, hopefully, they have a better chance at it. They can navigate this a little better.
Yeah. And I think, boiling it down, pro tips for those listening or watching is like, if you're struggling with your profile or getting matches or whatever, I think in this day and age, there's not really much of a stigma of online dating or app dating anymore. It's just the new normal.
Right.
Share it with the people that you know and trust, those closest to you, and just be transparent. Be like, hey, like, I'm not getting any success here. And your absolutely friends will be no filtered and 100% tell you like, oh, this is terrible. You're wearing sunglasses or whatever it is. Like, they will help you understand what you can't see because you think that the blue shirt matters, but it's like, no, like, you have to ... And so just be open to constructive criticism, I would say.
Yeah, there's even services now where they advise you on your profile.
I think I've read somewhere where there might be an app where instead of having you create your profiles and you swiping, you sort of trust that to friends because friends know you better. And I forget, I don't know if that app's still around, but I love that concept actually because it's less superficial. It's less about, hookups and really trusting the people that you trust to find a right match for you. And so it's not you interacting with the potential mates, it's people who know you talking to other people who know other people trying to match you. And it goes back to sort of the digital version of, old days matchmaking, right? Like when people match friends and family.
If you wrote a profile by your grown ass self and you are not getting any traction, do something about it, whether it's reaching out to friends and saying, what am I doing wrong? Or hiring a service or reading a couple of articles that talk about this very subject. So thank you so much, Evan, for joining us.
Thank you, Evan.
Happy to help if it did.
It was helpful because I always love hearing a guy's perspective on things.
And listening to Evan's experience and listen to Maria's experience and yours, I think it's very helpful. Hopefully, if nothing else, hopefully entertaining.
Yeah. So big thanks to Evan. Big thanks to Maria. Big thanks to all of you who are listening. That wraps up our episode of I Hate Dating Apps because you can't love with them.
And you can love without them.
Peace out until the next time.
I hate dating apps.
Hey, app daters and haters, tell us your dating app experience and we just might bring you on as a guest for future episodes. Head to IHateDatingApps.com and click on the big yellow Tell Us Your Story button. You can't miss it. We've got a lot of fun content on our social channels, so please follow us at I Hate Dating Apps on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And on Instagram, we're at I Hate Dating Apps Pod. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast.